Hello, my name's Jesse Dean, and I am the founder of the Open Window Institute for Emotional Freedom that you can find at www.owpro.com. Welcome to my seminar on 5 shifts to overcome stress, overwhelm, and anxiety without sacrificing your position, pay, status, or relationships, even if you manage millions of dollars or a mass of people or a wonderful, large, busy family. The purpose of this webinar is to give you 5 keys to overcoming stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. In today's world that is filled with more polarization, more isolation, and more distrust, the levels of stress are going up worldwide. At the Open Window Institute for Emotional Freedom, we coach high-pressure professionals to become emotionally resilient and emotionally free. Enjoy the webinar. And if you like it, on the back end, go ahead and book yourself a free breakthrough call, 45 minutes of clarity and compassion to help you find the right path to building your emotional freedom. Thank you. Welcome to my webinar on 5 shifts to conquer stress, overwhelm, and anxiety without sacrificing your position, pay, status, or relationships. I know a lot of webinars waste your time with endless hype, and I don't want to do that. I want to respect your time and mine. So if it's okay with you, let's get straight to the good stuff, shall we? First of all, who is this webinar for? This is for high-pressure professional men and women suffering from stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. Whether you've been feeling this way for weeks, months, or even years, this webinar is for you. So you can give your undivided, loving attention to your family and friends, and how to say no with confidence and have clear career boundaries and finally get the recognition and respect that you deserve, and find purpose and excitement in your work again without burning out. My promise to you is to reveal these 5 shifts so that you can use them. But before I get into all of that, I just want to take a moment and check in with you. Does any of this sound like you, feel like you, or look like you? Do you resent your coworkers because you are first in and last out of the office, but still can't get ahead? Do you find yourself easily irritated by the tiniest things because you are so stressed out that anything can lead you to snapping at your family, making you feel guilty for weeks on end? Do you feel afraid to be alone with your own thoughts, inner doubts, and fears, because you don't want to think about how bad your situation really is? Do you feel exhausted because you find it impossible to switch off your mind, which is always taking you back to the office, meetings, and coworkers? And do you feel run down and sick all the time, even though you try to eat right and exercise regularly? Are you afraid your kids are growing up without you, cheering at their special events? Do you wish you could leave all of this behind, but your family relies on each paycheck, and you dread the fact that you're going to have to do this for the next 20, 30, or even 40 years? The big question is, are you worried about losing your career, relationships, and health because of your increasing stress, overwhelm, and anxiety? Well, I've got good news for you. None of those are the real problem. The real problem is you have not yet made these 5 shifts. But for now, just know this: once you make them, your stress, overwhelm, and anxiety will vanish, and you'll forget you were ever so exhausted by your work. Your grief from being away from the people you love will be gone. You'll reconnect with your kids with more time and energy for them. You'll have more time to spend with friends, and you'll wake up feeling positive with a clear vision and certainty about your plans for your future, for which you are admired and respected. And you'll be a valued leader who inspires everyone around you to shine as you climb together up to the next level. You may be asking, who am I to be giving you this kind of advice? My name is Jesse Dean. Like you, I was driven to discover these 5 shifts due to my long struggle to overcome stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. Shift number 1 is change your identity. Shakespeare wrote, "All the world is a stage. We are each a character in a play of our own making. Some play the villain, and some play the hero. Some choose the king, and some play the queen. Others play
unnamed members of the chorus, while still others play the victim or the damsel in distress. Some play the dragon, and others the oppressed underdog. Still others play the wise man or the fool. What role are you choosing to play in your life today? The answer is revealed in the mirror of your life. What kind of experiences are you having? How do people relate to you? How do you respond to their words and behaviors? What do you say to yourself? How are you feeling inside? And what kind of thoughts are you giving your attention to? Are you focused on the past, the present, or the future? Is your glass half empty or half full? Are you hopeful or fearful? Or have you given up the desire for the happiness you dreamed of? Do you have a partner or wish you were single? Let us examine the most common identity people suffering from chronic stress, overwhelm, and anxiety unconsciously slip into, in which they believe they have little or no personal agency in life. They tend to feel like they are a victim and at the mercy of their circumstances, limitations, and the authority of others who they think have more power over them. When we feel like a victim, we see life and business as being against us. When we feel like a victim, we can never win. When we feel like a victim, we say, if only they would change. We say it's my karma to suffer. If they would give us a break, maybe I could finally make it. We say, I don't have what it takes. Whatever you're telling yourself that tells you that you are unresourceful, that you are not enough, that you are destined to fail is a lie. Because when you change your identity from being victim to becoming the victorious protagonist of your own life, life becomes your greatest support. That is when you become your own superhero. When you take on this new identity, you begin to win because you are either earning or learning. And when you change this identity and lock it in deep in your heart, the environment changes too. You will grow stronger with each challenge. You will not stop having problems. You will not stop facing challenges. You will make your problems and challenges a roaring fire of victory in your life. This is because you are the most resourceful being in the universe. When you discover this truth, your life will change forever. Let's move on to shift number 2. Letting go of the past. Most people don't realize how much the past holds them back. We all have limiting beliefs. We believe that we're not good enough due to past failures or criticisms. This can hold us back when we avoid new opportunities and challenges due to the fear of failure from our past experience. We may hold resentments and regrets because we're holding on to past grievances or mistakes that are preventing not only our emotional growth, but our ability to take risks and create a new future. An example of holding grudges in personal or professional relationships keeps people back from making new friends and undermines people's trust in you and your trust in yourself. Many people are stuck in their comfort zone. They're sticking to familiar routines due to fear of the unknown. An example of this is staying in an unfulfilling job or relationship because it feels safe and familiar. Being held in the past is revealed if we procrastinate, putting off important tasks because of fear and self-doubt of failure and criticism. What's more, tied to the past through fear and doubt stops us from pursuing a dream because of all our past setbacks. What's worse is when we're focused in our rearview mirror and we're reviewing all our past failures, we miss opportunities. We're not able to recognize and take advantage of new chances and new opportunities that are lying all around us. One of those opportunities is avoiding networking events because of our increased social anxiety. Our past has got us locked down with repetitive patterns. We keep falling into the same negative thoughts, words, and behaviors. And this brings us into the same negative, unresourceful relationships. Choosing partners with similar negative traits keeps us locked in the past and removes the possibility of creating new and rewarding relationships. But when we learn how to let go of the past and embrace the present, we begin to develop self-acceptance and forgiveness, acknowledgement and release past mistakes for personal growth. We learn from past failures instead of dwelling on them. We set new intentions and we create clear goals and take actionable steps towards them. For example, pursuing a new career path hobby, or relationship without fear of past failures. We paint a new picture of a liberated future. We develop vibrant relationships, building new positive connections based on self-worth, respect, and admiration. Letting go of the past allows us to embrace the future, develop our professional lives, embracing challenges and seizing opportunities for career advancement. It allows us to live aligned with our true values, desires, and passions. Let's move on to shift number 3. Use your secret power. Most people go through their normal conscious daily life until a significant interruption or life-resistant event creates a painful emotional experience, which either is expressed, repressed, or suppressed. If the negative, painful emotion is repressed or suppressed, people will pursue pleasure-seeking activities to trigger and spike their pleasure-producing hormones like serotonin, dopamine, adrenaline, cortisol, and oxytocin, all known as the pleasure hormones. After the rush, there is a recovery dip that gets deeper each time, which exhausts the hormones and creates a demand for more stimulation to get the same pleasure spikes as before. This is a vicious cycle that can lead to unhappiness and addiction. People cope with their stress, overwhelm, and anxiety with drugs, alcohol, food, TV, retail therapy, pornography, and sex addiction. People spend hours and hours surfing the internet every day, and sometimes all night, as they follow sports, politics, and business. People's attention spans are getting so short that they can only watch something for 15 to 30 seconds before they have to be stimulated again by something else. All of this stimulation is activating adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine, and serotonin. As a result, people are living in constant stimulation. People have very little mental discipline to cope with the changing, resistant patterns in their work environments. And so people are more stressed at work and at home with the kids, with their faces on their phones, buried on their computer games. There's less and less human contact and human experience, one-to-one, real emotional exchange. It's gotten so bad that the World Health Organization keeps track of the statistics for psychosomatic diseases like strokes, heart attacks, cancer, drug overdose, depression, divorce, and suicide. It is shift number 3. Use your secret power, the glue that holds the other 4 shifts together to help you overcome stress, overwhelm, and anxiety for good. We use less than 3% of our brain power to carry out our subjective mental activities to run our daily lives. We are unconscious of this potential because it is that 97% of our mind that we are unconscious of right now. This unconscious potential is the domain of all of our thoughts, emotions, memories, learnings, behaviors, and change. Using your secret power to let go of past stress and to release current stress and to prevent stress from building up in the future is key to preventing overwhelm and anxiety. Once you discover how to operate your unconscious mind, you can create the results internally that you wish to see in the outer world. This is your secret power. The new way to influence your unconscious mind has 5 simple steps. Number 1, breathe through your nose. For thousands of years in cultures all over the world, healers and shamans have taught seekers of bliss and ecstasy to control their breath by breathing slowly, deeply, and consciously to calm their sympathetic nervous systems, which slows down the heart rate and activates a calming effect that immediately improves attention, memory, thinking, and mood. Try counting 6 beats silently as you inhale. Hold in for 6 beats. Exhale for 6 beats. Hold out for 6 beats and repeat. Instant efforts on your part will reap instant results. Step 2 is positive self-talk. We receive tens of millions of messages about ourselves throughout our life. Most of them are false, critical, negative, disempowering, and outright dangerous to our health and well-being. Start right now telling yourself positive messages like, I am here to enjoy all of the universe. I am a miracle of life. I am beautiful and unique.
I am healthy. I deserve to be happy. I am here to enjoy all of life. You can also replace the word myself with your name, like, I love Jesse. I respect Jesse. Jesse is a living miracle. If you feel uncomfortable giving yourself positive messages like this, that is proof positive that you need to do this multiple times every day. No ifs or buts about it. Don't be a butthead. Just do it. Remember, you were loved unconditionally just for arriving on this planet when you were born. Start now to replace all your negative software with positive, loving, self-empowering software. This age-old secret will release stress and produce healthy levels of pleasure-producing hormones on demand. Get started right after this webinar. Number 3, use hypnosis and guided imagery on a daily basis. There are hundreds of free applications available on your YouTube and your phone for immediate use. These will help you reframe negative thought patterns into positive ones, promote relaxation, and release congested negative emotions. If you want faster results, hire a hypnotherapist for help. Number 4 is positive visualization. The unconscious mind is inside you. It is like virgin soil. You have the ability to condition it by fertilizing it and planting good seeds of your choosing. This is done by visualizing positive conditions that presently do not exist. Your unconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is not real. Become intentional. Stop letting the outside world feed your unconscious mind negative garbage like nightly news, toxic social media, or catastrophe blasphemy. Don't be a disaster forecaster or your own self-judge, jury, and executioner all at once. Create positive mental images for yourself that enhance your health, wealth, relationships, confidence, learning, and self-control. Then take intelligent action to realize them. Writing out or speaking affirmations to yourself in front of a mirror like, I am capable, I am healthy, I am resourceful, I am strong, I am in charge of my life, will make huge gains in how your unconscious mind, your secret power, dissolves stress and promotes health. Number 5 is mindful pattern interruption. This helps bring your attention to the present moment and allows you to observe your thoughts and feelings without generating unresourceful meanings and self-defeating critical judgments that suck your energy out of you and increase your stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. Remember, the key to influencing and operating your unconscious mind is consistent, intentional, positive conditioning. That means daily, sometimes hourly, with positive images, ideas, and suggestions. It can take time to see significant changes, but be patient with yourself. If you want faster results, once again, hire a professional hypnotherapist to work with you. They can save you years of frustrating therapy and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of mistakes in business, love, and health. Meet Marianne, a world-class singer, pianist, and artist. When I met Marianne, her brilliant mind was like a broken mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces. Her heart was a grief-filled black hole sucking the joy out of every breath. She was paralyzed with anxiety about what to do with her uncertain future. This sad state of affairs was the fallout after the death of Paul, her beloved husband of over 30 years, who had passed away 2 years earlier during the worldwide pandemic. Marianne had still not been allowed to bury her best friend with full military honors due to the global lockdown. Marianne was exhausted. For the previous 9 years, Marianne had been her husband's sole caregiver. For the past 2 years, she had been treading emotional water while producing a magnificent portfolio of drawings, paintings, and handcrafted artwork. Because Marianne opened her heart honestly on her free breakthrough assessment call, she revealed that deep within the heavy cloud of stress, overwhelm, and anxiety, the light of hope and determination was still alive. Marianne declared her willingness to be coachable, decisive, committed, and resourceful so that we could work together to help her change her identity, let go of her past, and use her secret power to reprogram her unconscious mind to turn her life around and create a future worth living in. What happened next was inspiring to witness and amazing to all her friends and family who had watched helplessly while Marianne had suffered in isolation so deeply for so long. True to her spirit
Marianne put her trust in us and applied the 5 shifts you are learning about today. Over the next 90 days, she let go of her mind-shattering grief and replaced it with a hope-filled vision for her future. She began singing and performing publicly again, garnering rave reviews. As her mind cleared, Marianne arranged her husband's glorious 21-gun military funeral in the nation's capital cemetery, attended by many of his friends and military comrades. Then, Marianne decided to sell her home of 30 years and drive across the country, where she purchased a new home and started a new life nearby her son, high up in the spectacular beauty of the Rocky Mountains. At the time I am making this webinar, 1 year after Marianne began applying the 5 shifts in her life, she called me to celebrate that she now has a wonderful new man in her life who respects, loves, and cherishes her new identity. She told me she has never been this happy in her entire life. Let's move on to shift number 4, the glue that holds everything together and ensures that each day we go stronger and bigger to become impervious to any stress, overwhelm, or anxiety in our life. Shift number 4 is learning to laugh again. Laugh is an acronym. L for love, A for acknowledge, A for accept, and F is forgive. Love yourself unconditionally. Practice self-compassion and cultivate a positive self-image. Acknowledge your emotions without assigning negative meanings or judgment to them, like self-condemnation. I'm not enough, and it's scary. Identify stressors and triggers. Be honest with yourself about your feelings. They are signals to your conscious mind from your unconscious mind to pay attention to the energy shifting within you. Accept that stress and anxiety are normal emotional reactions to pressures, changes, and demands in life. You may be deluding yourself that perfect people have no negative emotions. Embrace your imperfections as an emotional being. Understand that emotional changes are reality in life. And finally, forgive yourself for being human in an imperfect world, for making mistakes, and for judging yourself and others, for holding on to fears, grudges, and resentments. Practice forgiveness for inner peace and emotional resilience. Create a daily, hourly, or minute routine in which you remember to love, acknowledge, accept, and forgive. If you're having trouble with shift number 4, seek out support from spiritual or psychological professionals who model that they know how to laugh to live. Let's take a look at case study number 2. Meet Carlos. Carlos came to me in acute stress in the final days of an unwanted divorce. He felt overwhelmed with grief about his wife's rejection and was anxious about his uncertain future. Carlos was furious that life was not turning out the way he had planned. He was beating himself up, telling himself he was not enough to meet his wife's expectations. Carlos kept reviewing how he failed in his marriage. He was searching for an explanation. He looked at everything that he'd ever done wrong in the last 20 years, and the more he looked, the angrier he got. Then he started to feel guilty that he had made his wife so miserable that she would leave him. And finally, he just started blaming her for being imperfect. And that was the reason why he had stopped loving her, cherishing her, and meeting her needs. The first thing we did together was to help Carlos define what love meant to him. We helped him see that in order to love someone else, he would need to love himself first. That led to Carlos developing a healthy self-care program that included exercise, massage, yoga, and meditation. Carlos began to acknowledge that all the ways he and his ex-wife had clashed, never finding a common love language to support each other. He accepted that being imperfectly human meant that there was nothing fundamentally wrong with either he or his wife. He realized that ignorance and inexperience were not a crime. That 20 years ago, neither of them were mature enough to know themselves, much less each other, and that the marriage had been one long experiment in miscommunication, failed expectations, and conflicting values. He forgave himself and his ex-wife for all the pain that had caused each other and honored her courage to recognize that the marriage was over and mercifully end it with divorce. Within 2 months of weekly coaching, Carlos was free from his resentment, anger, and grief. Through his self-care program, he had discovered a deep inner peace and wisdom. He became clear about what kind of values and personality that he wanted in a partner to share in his future. He began to actively date again, knowing that he was a valuable soul, secure in himself and wiser for the marriage he had grown through. Carlos was writing the script of his future with confidence that he was now the creator of his destiny. Let's move on to shift number 5. Invest in mentoring. You can make all of the first 4 shifts to overcome stress, overwhelm, and anxiety by yourself. It may take you years and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, plus your job, your status, your reputation, your health, and your relationships. I had to have a knife pointed at my heart before I could humble myself to invest in mentoring. I believe that everyone should have a mentor to transform their lives at the deepest level. Yes, you can watch YouTube videos, read books, and chat with AI, but none of those activities will provide you the magic of heart-to-heart dialogue, savings in time and money, the benefits of proximity to higher-frequency humans, and the wonder of egregore, the group consciousness that appears only when human beings work together to heal, grow, and accelerate their enlightenment in the service of each individual and humanity as a whole. How mentoring works. Emotional fitness mentoring provides new ideas, feedback, and saves you money and time. It ensures a respectful, nurturing environment where you gain confidence and learn how to identify your emotional limitations, release congested emotions, and bounce back from life's resistance, shocks, changes, adversity, loss, grief, frustrations, anger, pressures, stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. Mentoring helps you develop new mindsets and psychologies that will expand your resourcefulness and your beliefs about what is possible for you and your future. It teaches you proven strategies and introduces you to others farther along your chosen path of growth and development. These new friends will provide examples of what is possible and help you stay accountable when you take action. Mentoring will improve your outcomes in your health, work, and relationships. Investing in mentoring keeps you focused on your goals and commitments to your own growth and success. Mentoring has been the best investment I ever made in my life to move towards my goals of overcoming stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. Today, I promise to reveal the 5 shifts to conquer stress, overwhelm, and anxiety without sacrificing your position, pay, status, or relationships. And how to win back 5, 10, or even 15 hours a week from anxiety and worry without sacrificing your performance or impact. And how to say no with confidence and have clear career boundaries to get the recognition and respect that you deserve. And lastly, how to find purpose and excitement in your work without burning out of control. Let's do a quick recap. Shift number 1 is change your identity. Shift number 2 is let go of the past. Shift number 3 is use your secret power. Shift number 4 is learn how to laugh, love, acknowledge, accept, and forgive. And shift number 5 is invest in mentoring. These 5 shifts are the golden keys to unlocking your emotional fitness to overcome stress, overwhelm, and anxiety for the rest of your life. Now you have a choice. You can go back and pay the high price that comes from wasting your time as you continue down the path to a devastating burnout from stress, overwhelm, and anxiety that is silently destroying your health, career, and relationships. You could continue to feel overwhelmed, anxious, and exhausted, and take all your problems home bundled up inside, leaving you distant and disengaged from your loved ones. You could drag yourself into your office where your fatigue will undermine your job performance, your status, and respect as less and less of you. You could continue beating yourself up for not taking action as you dread the day ahead with no clear purpose, no defined direction, and a never-ending sense of futile failure and anxiety. But if you're done with all that, and you want to take the high road and finally eliminate your stress, overwhelm, and anxiety once and for all, then I have good news for you. My team and I have set aside some time within the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas in your life starting today. Whatever your biggest challenges are, we've seen it all, and we know how to overcome it. On your free call, we will explore your unique emotional challenges, strengths, and opportunities to overcome stress, overwhelm, and anxiety. The cost? Absolutely free. But there is a catch, and the catch is this is not for everyone. Here is who this is for. You must be a high-pressure professional who is either in a crisis or struggling with stress, overwhelm, and anxiety right now. You must be ready and open to transform your emotional suffering into happiness right now. You must be decisive, coachable, willing, and resourceful. If that's you, book a session now to see if you're qualified for our help. Now you may be asking why we're doing this. We do this because we love giving back, helping high-pressure professionals who are giving their all to serve others in emotional crisis and want to achieve emotional freedom. Plus, we know that you might want our help to transform your suffering into happiness now. If so, we can discuss it and see if it's a good fit for both of us. If not, that's fine too.
Hi, I'm Jesse Dean, the founder of the Open Window Institute for Emotional Freedom, where we train high-pressure professionals to develop powerful emotional muscles and resilience. We teach you how to clean out all that stuff that's stuck inside your emotional system so that you can find out what you feel like when the anger, fear, sadness, and shame are all gone and everything feels good inside, like when you were inside before you saw the light of day. If you're having trouble concentrating, focusing, or having difficulty with relationships, then your stuff is messing up your guidance system and your life. We teach you powerful tools to empty out your old stuff so you can put in some good new stuff to help you achieve your goals, outcomes, and fulfill your purpose. If you are struggling with stress, overwhelm, and anxiety and are serious about developing real emotional freedom, then click below to schedule a free 45-minute breakthrough call. Thanks for watching, and remember, it takes an open mind to enjoy an open heart.